right, welcome to PhatStache's Halloween Spectacular. I'm your host, the Fatty 500. Joining me in the studio is my co-host,
Big Steve.
And new to PhatStache, making her debut, someone near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Yeah, this is Kelly. She's going to be joining us today
Sorry, I got flustered.
while we talk about Halloween. Oh, such a stupid soundboard.
So how about that?
Very concise, Steve. With the if you're listening to this the day it posts, it'll be Halloween. A very fun. Well, I don't know. For me, some of the magic of Halloween's been lost. I'm kind of too old and fat to go trick or treating anymore.
It's all about
You gotta have a
enthusiasm.
kid.
Yeah, then I can get some freaky stuff.
Or
I
you could,
hate parents who bring like their 1-year-olds trick or treating. Yeah, my kid's gonna eat this candy.
Right? Your kid doesn't have teeth.
or Chen, you could be one of those parents that like go on the porch and look like you're like a fake dummy, and then out of nowhere, just like you'd be that guy, and your kids would be so embarrassed.
I'll be sitting on the porch and they'll come up and I'll shout.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but in the spirit of the holiday, we wanted to record this and just talk about some of our Halloween experiences. You know, funny stories, embarrassing costumes.
Urban legends.
I think Steve's had some pretty good costumes. Why don't you start us off?
Well, see, we weren't the richest family.
How many people live in your hometown?
Shut up, you.
That was an actual question.
How do we live?
How many people
No.
live in your hometown?
Oh, 100 if that.
Oh my.
Not even.
Crickets.
Yeah. Funny story. We had like a big infestation of crickets.
Well, if that's not straight out of Halloween, I have.
It was creepy. Like, broke like a. Like, we tore down a wall and then a bunch of them flew out. It's like,
It's the swarm!
That is adorable. Crickets are like, so
they're-
cute.
No, they're not. They're just fucking annoying.
Their mouths like open in such a weird way where it always looks like they're angry or afraid, so they're just like rawr.
Are you trying to sleep and inside your walls you just hear like.
Yeah. It's like, and then you can't sleep, so I turn on my light and then I move the bed and it sounds like it's underneath my bed, but it's not there. It's like, what the fuck are you?
We are everywhere. We are Legion.
But about
But
costumes,
I remember one year, me and my sister, we went as dice. We like had big cardboard boxes, and then we painted all sides dice numbers. And then next year, my mom she wrapped up the boxes in Christmas paper, and then we went as Christmas presents. So we like to recycle.
Oh yeah, did you come up on any creepy old man's door and he's like, oh boy, I've been very good this year.
that is.
I don't think Lori is that kind of town. How about you?
Well, you see, my mom, she in her basement, it's just full of Halloween costumes, but if you don't like any of them, she's not going to buy you anymore. So I think me and my brother, we've been like a vampire like 3 times each. Because she knows how to, she can just put the face paint on us really easy and put a little blood in the mouth and then it's a vampire. But I remember the one year I really wanted to go as Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. And my friend, my mom didn't want to buy it, so my friend, he loaned me the mask. So I had the mask. But then I had to do the rest of myself, so I just kind of put on like blue jeans and like a blue sweater. And I thought it was a great Sub-Zero. I was 6 years old.
Aww.
And I thought I rocked Sub-Zero.
Oh, that's adorable.
I mean, I was the best Sub-Zero that year. I mean,
In your baby blue sweater.
Aww.
no, it was more of a navy blue. So I think baby blue would have been closer to Sub-Zero, if anything.
Baby blue with a ducky on it. I'm the mighty Sub-Zero. Quack, quack.
You used to be Sub-Zero, now just Zero. Which seems like a step up, really, but because Sub-Zero was below Zero. Come on, Kelly, embarrassing Halloween costumes.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna say that like this is apart from the whole, serial killer, which I'll tell you later. But I remember in grade 5, my parents, they didn't want to, they had work after school, right? And they didn't want to put on makeup. And I was going in as a vampire, and I have done that, like, 3 times also. And, they kind of just put this, like, pale white makeup, the kind that you buy, like, at Walmart for cheap, like, $2. They put it on my face. By the time, like, an hour into school, and no one else was dressed up yet, by the way. I was there.
Oh, don't you hate that when you show up in the morning dressed up, and they only
No one
have the
else
kid?
is.
Everyone else is like, the party's after lunch, dude. We're gonna dress up.
Okay, so all the kids, they were dressed so good. Like, the blonde kids were all, like, dressed in their nice clothes, and before you're supposed to dress up as freaky characters. So here I am with this pale white stuff. 2 hours into school, my makeup starts cracking every time I smile. And I remember this kid, like, right across the class, kept on staring at me as if I was, like, a demon child. And I remember one time I got so sick of him, like, turning around. Like, I stared at him for a while, like, smiling right in my cracked face. And yeah. And he turned around, and once he turned around, he screamed, and I looked back at my paper, and, like, chips falling on the paper. And by the time I got home again, my parents had to redo it because it all chipped off.
Aw.
So I went there for nothing, really. And then one year, I was older, I dressed up as a serial killer. And I know that sounds boring, but I literally, like, dressed up as a special K box. K standing for Kelly.
I get it.
That's why I got special K. And we put so much detail into it that we put, like, the calorie nutritions on the other side. I couldn't put my arm through it because I didn't want to wear the calorie nutrition thing.
So it was the one-armed serial killer.
And one of my arms stuck out through the box and had a knife, and through the top of my head stuck out, and I was wearing, like, this mask, and it was really scary.
Was it cracking off every time you smiled?
Were you gonna sugary cereal? Were you gonna kill people by bringing up their cholesterol levels?
Oh, yeah.
Gonna get diabetes.
Except for I'm Special K, which is actually known to be very nutritious. But, yeah, I ended up winning the costume contest for my age. Got $25.
Yay!
Yeah. That's my story.
Speaking of school, have you ever brought, like, say, a plastic sword that goes with your costume, but then, like, all the teachers are like, no, we gotta take that, you're just gonna play with it? I always hated that. It's like, I'm a pirate, and then I'm, like, swinging my sword around, give me that.
But I'm a pirate.
But I'm a pirate, that's what we do.
What's a pirate without his sword?
I'm like, oh. You can get back at the end of the day.
No, my school was like, the whole week before the party, it's like, no weapons, 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 no weapons.
Do you guys remember that year in school where every guy, almost, there would be like 20 Scream costumes? And in my school, they used to, like, bring all the grades and circle them around the classroom, and then they even go to the next classroom to like, it's kind of like a fashion show, really.
Yeah.
And I swear one grade had, like, 5 Screams, and they all were like, my costume's better because I have a bloody sword.
No, I remember you get, like, the guy walks through and he's like, I'm Scream, but he's not wearing the cloak. He just has the Scream mask, and, like, he didn't even dress up. He's just got, like, his t-shirt and, like, a Scream mask. And then the next guy comes, he's like, no, I'm Scream. And he's got the Scream mask, and he's got, like, the hood, but, like, no cloak. The next guy comes, like, no, I'm Scream. And he's got, like, the Scream mask, the hood, and the cloak. And the next guy comes and he's like, no, I'm Scream. And he's got the mask, but no hood or cloak. He's just in his t-shirt. But then he, like, pushes this, like, little red thing, and, like, blood streams down his mask. You're like, oh, he's Scream! That's the best one!
But if you had the cloak, maybe.
Because you're, like, 6 years old. It's like, where does the blood come from?
That's true.
Can I see that at recess? No, man, you're gonna break it. I have to go trick-or-treating.
I remember my favorite costume when I was little. I had this really cute genie costume, and I felt so pretty in it. I felt like the other girls, and I was like, yay, I went to school, I was in it, I was so happy. But, you know, we live in Canada, you see, and we have to wear, like, parkas under our t-shirts and stuff, and the genie suit wouldn't fit. So I came as a raggy doll, and it was, like, my niece's from when she was, like, 4, and I was, like, 8. And I had to wear that, and I was just so mad. I went to all the other houses, and they're like, oh, you're so cute. oh, they thought I was a boy. They thought I was a clown boy. And I was like, Mom, why can't I wear my genie? And she's like, no, it's too.
Look at her big fat. She's a boy.
So they go, oh, what a nice boy. Here's 5 candies. And I'd be like, that's the first time I ever felt like swearing when I was 8. Like, fuck you, no, I'm a girl.
I'm a girl. Well, you only get 3 candy. Oh, no, I'm a boy.
Did you guys like always figure out like the houses that gave out the good stuff?
It was Lori. There was only a certain amount of houses every year.
Did you hit all the houses? Yes, Mom. You want to go again?
One year we actually went to McCurry and actually did all around there too. So
it's like, holy shit, there's like twice as many houses. This is sick. No, I remember I had like my routes scoped out. I'm like, all right, I'll go here because he gives out like the full size coffee crisp and it's kick ass. And I'll go here because he gives out like a big bag that like always has like a loonie in it. And like, yeah, he gave it like he was like the awesomest host. He was like right across the street from mine, and he gave out like a big bag stuffed with like chocolate bars, and like there was always $1 in it. It was pretty awesome.
We should tell the worst things we've gotten when we were trick or treating.
There was
apple.
I got that. there was always this guy. He just gave like a handful of like peanuts out of a bowl. And my mom's like, yeah, you're not eating anything that doesn't come in a wrapping.
I remember
no homemade stuff or anything.
Yeah.
I felt bad because we ended up going through the trailer court for some reason, and the guy had his light on, but so we went knocking the door. He's like, tonight's Halloween. And he's like, hold on, I'll get you something. And he like leaves and comes back with like a box of Kraft dinner, and he's like, here you go.
You know what? I have a similar story to that. I went to this house on my side.
Give Steve a second, Kelly.
Kraft dinner. That's Canadian, eh? Kraft dinner.
I had something similar to that, except it's like, give me a second, and then comes out with like these little mint chocolates.
Aw, man, like he stole from like the hotel pillows or something.
It was out in like the country though, so it's understandable that he was like, well, we never get anyone.
Someone came here? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Usually those are the best though, because no one ever rarely any people go out there.
Yeah.
And then they give like big handfuls, because it's like, well,
why do you even buy Halloween candy?
I remember stopping by a house, and I was like, what we do is that my family or my parents would like, I'd walk on the street, but they'd like follow me in a car, right? To make sure no one would like take off of me and run. It's actually really hilarious. But I saw this house. It wasn't decorated. It looked a little bit odd. And they're like, no, go ahead. That's fine. And I knocked on the door. This guy, he's wearing like this gross undershirt with like a bit of stains tracking down the middle and a huge beard belly. And I think he was wearing like pajama pants or something. And it's like, what do you want? And I was like, trick or treat. Trick or treat. I just like,
how old are you?
fuck, 6, 5. I don't know. It was scary. And he goes back. I wait for like 5 minutes straight, and he comes back out with a Dr. Pepper. And he's like, "You like this, right?" I'm like, I guess. And he like puts it in the bag, slams the door, and I walk back. I'm like, Mom, can we go home? It was just so mean.
This is my last Dr. Pepper.
I don't like Dr. Pepper.
You like beer?
Yeah.
Coors.
I'm just making a picture of smaller Kelly just walking back to her mom. Can you get a hand me in?
I think all the candy's gone. What happened? All this candy's gone.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper.
Do you like it? And my sister was like, hell yeah.
I'll take that. That's all I got.
I'm pretty sure my favorite part of Halloween was like gathering all the candy you got after, sitting by the TV and watching like Christmas specials, and just eating all the candy and feeling sick afterwards. But you still eat more.
My favorite part was like, after everything's done, you dump out the bag and then you trade with I would trade with my sister, and I'm like, I don't like this, I'll give you this for this, okay.
I was a loner child. I had no one. I just eat the candy for the TV.
My favorite part of Halloween is going to Walmart and fucking with the decorations. So many sword fights in the aisles.
Or those singing rats that sing, and you press all the buttons and run away, and all the floats are like, fuck.
It's kind of cool. They got like a fog machine, but it's like a skull, and then the fog like comes out of the eyes and all that.
You set off every skeleton, so like the whole aisles, half the store just hears Super Freak all.
You're the one.
Usually.
You know what? I love that one song that's like, somebody feel like somebody's watching me.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. It was like 1 year, everybody was singing that song. That's cool.
You know what I hated, like, in my last years of Halloween, is like, there was a lot of chips getting given out.
I like
chips and pop. I'm like, why is there so many chips and pop?
That was my favorite, chips and pop.
I hated pop.
Mine
though,
were
so I'm
Kit
like,
Kats and like coffee.
I like the chocolate bars.
Yeah.
I like chips and pop.
Yeah, it was always like plain chips too, plain or Cheetos. I'm like,
I
don't mean to be fussy, but
I remember the 1 year it was in grade 4, I think, and like I had to get a filling on Halloween. But it was like the Halloween party at school, so I get my filling and I get out like 1:30. I'm like, I can still go to the party and watch the rest of the movie. So I go to the school and they're like, oh, Trent, glad you're here. Here's a soda. So I'm like, oh, right on. So I drink the soda and immediately my filling pops out and I swallow it.
That is some bad filling right there. Holy shit.
I'm like, oh, what was that? Never mind.
2 years later, where'd that filling go? Why is my teeth rotting?
That would really hurt though. Did it hurt?
A little bit. but I was like still numb, so I didn't really feel it. And then like the next day, I'm like, I had 2 skin sores. Probably just a filling. And then I go like a week later, and it's like, see how the filling went? It's like, yeah, it's fine.
You know what was really cool? I remember one Halloween, like, when I was older, like 14, I went to this one house, and they had, like, a walk-in haunted house. Like, they rearranged their living room. They took all the furniture out of it, and they made, like, little tunnels. And they'd get, like, the family to just, like, jump out and scare people. Oh, it was, like, my favorite.
So they set up their own little haunted house.
Yeah, it was so cool.
I remember we had like a really shitty one in like the school gymnasium where they just set up like the gym mats, but we only had like 5 or 6 gym mats. So you're like, oh, I walk in, I turn right, boo, oh, I'm done to I'm done to haunt the gym mat.
Give us $1.
There was always a few in good houses that decorate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, there's I know a couple of like they lose their shit decorating for Halloween.
Yeah.
I like the inflatable cats and
Yeah,
cats.
the ones that they have at Walmart or the mall, I should say. The most we ever did though was just fill up like the bags that you fill up with leaves and all, and then the ghost that you hang in the tree.
Oh yeah.
I just can't get over the inflatable cats where it has like it's like kneeling on the
You
ground,
can't tell
but
if
its
it's
ass is
stretching.
stuck in the air, right? As if it's like trying to show off, like even as a inflatable thing, it's still showing off its asshole.
Yeah, you can't tell if it's stretching or trying to get your dick in its butt.
Digging a butt.
Trick or treat this way.
It's always wearing like a witch's hat and it's always
over
like,
here,
like,
Sub-Zero.
Zero the hero.
Oh. I'm crying.
Did you ever do anything else for Halloween, or did you just always go trick or treating?
Nah, we weren't. I wasn't. In Laurier, it's not much for the tricks. It's a bunch of old people, so you're not gonna like go egg a bunch of old people's houses because that's not nice.
I remember my mom got really, really pissed off when she found like these teenagers came to our house 5 times in different suits. And I guess we were one of the people that handed out really good treats or something because they came there 5 times. Like first they came as Scream, and then they came as like Freddy Cougar, and then they came as I don't know. They came as different things. I was too busy watching TV, as I said before.
Why didn't your mom catch it?
Because the 5th time they wore the Freddy Cougar thing again. So he was thinking my mom was stupid or something. She's like, get out of here. He was like, no, I haven't been here before. And she's like, yeah, you have. And he just kind of walked away. I'm just like,
oh, it was one guy. I thought it was like a group.
No, it's one guy's circulating. I don't know where he's changing though. That's the question.
He's got a bush and then bunch of costumes by the bush.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hit one neighborhood.
And we lived in kind of those like goody neighborhood where we knew everybody on the street, so I didn't know him.
Some like hint just comes in. No one knows
He was
me.
a teenager too. Like fuck.
It's always the teenager though.
Like, what are you doing on Halloween? You're alone. You think you'd be watching like scary movies with your friends? No, I'm gonna go trick or treat and change costumes every 5 times on this one house so I can get more treats.
It'd be fun if you were with a group, but it just seems sad when you're alone.
Yeah, it does.
Give me candy, please.
I get my friends. Chocolate's my friend.
I'm Freddy Krueger now. Just give me more treats.
Can I have some candy?
My dad was always a bit too tired to take me for Halloween, so he's like, just get the block first. And I'm like, okay, and I run around the block. It's like, can we go to the houses now? It's like, nah, go get the block across the street. I'm like, okay. And I go in and get the block across the street. And he's like, fuck, yeah, let's go.
Dump's half his bowl into your bed, there you go.
See, my parents just followed me in a car.
No, that's what my dad would do afterwards. Like, you got the street? Fuck. Okay, let's get in the car. Alright, now go hit those 5 houses and I'll park here. Or he'd park at the end of the street. It's like, go up and down. Get both sides.
Oh, wow.
Come back, Daddy, I'm done.
Dad.
Oh, I love scaring my mom with those like fake. Have you ever gotten that fake bugs in your sack ever?
Your mom fell for those?
Yeah, she's so afraid of bugs, and I remember one time getting those book orders you get at school, right? They still have them in the high school.
Scholastics.
I used to get all the prank stuff, and like I got one time I got soap, and on the bottom of it there used to be a spider. So you like rub it, and eventually you'd feel something there, and you'd look, and there was a spider. And I was like, I put it on the bathroom. It looked exactly like ours. It was so convenient. And I ran into my room. I had to go to bed. I was just like, and it's right before my mom was taking a shower. I guess she washes her hands. I don't know what the fuck why. And yeah, I just hear like the what you call it, tap water go, and then suddenly like.
I just picture Kelly just in your bed.
I was an awful child. I'd put snakes on her head when she was sleeping, and she'd wake up with a snake on her head. Oh, it's
Was it
hilarious.
actual soap, or was it like you rub it on your face like, I have cancer now?
It was cheap.
Didn't
It
you
was
know
very
that you
cheap.
bought this stuff though? Usually the parents.
Hey, Mom,
are
here's
My
some
dad,
bored.
my dad would give me like $15 for it
Oh,
because
it's
he
like-
liked to promote books and stuff.
Here, Mom, here's some book order soap. I got it with my book order.
Well, it also came with one of those like one of my last gum, and you take it out and it'd be like it used to be like a mouse trap. It'd be like
Scholastic, not more like soap-tastic.
what's flavors.
Oh, Jesus.
We've been filming now for like 22 minutes.
Anyone have any more good Halloween stories?
I think I'm all out.
I can't think of anything right now.
Alright, so in the spirit of Halloween, what else you do on Halloween but sit around and tell spooky stories?
I gotta turn off the lights.
Kelly, get the lamp.
Turn off the light. We're telling scary stories.
Oh, that's a scary ghost. Steve's playing around with the soundboard now.
And the lights are off.
Chains and Monster Grunts, this one's called. That sounds terrible.
Sounds like a fat person trying to walk through a bush.
No, it sounds like a fat person trying to walk through chains.
Is that Kelly's beer belly Dr. Pepper guy?
Oh, you like this, right?
This mustard stains on his shirt.
Alright, so we're gonna start out with me reading A Knock on the Window.
I haven't read this.
Oh, Kelly hasn't read this one. Okay, in that case, Kelly's gonna read this
If
one.
it is awful, then I apologize.
No, awful stories are the best kind of stories, especially on this podcast.
I probably won't read because I'm just not good at reading.
I'm just
I'll
gonna,
just get tongue-tied and just probably take twice as long as it should.
Alright, all the lights are off except the TV. I don't know why you left that on, Steve.
that kind of makes it dim. It's not that bad. At least we can see.
Alright, it's dim and spooky, which doesn't matter because people can't see our living room.
But no, we are scared. Oh, it's kind of creepy.
Alright, Kelly, start us
Okay.
off here. A Knock on the Window.
Why did I choose such a long one? No, it's not too long.
Just read the story, Kelly. Read.
No, you. Okay. I lie in bed, restless and alone, on a dark and silent night. That's awesome.
Steve's texting.
I'm not texting. I'm getting something. 1 second.
You're getting.
1 second.
I wanna. I toss and turn in my bed, trying to find a comfortable spot, but I feel uneasy. Something about tonight just didn't feel right. I toss and turn until I finally find a comfortable position.
That's not even bright. We'll put a red filter and then it'll be like, oh, but no, it's not bright.
Get into the light bulbs. I close my eyes, but it doesn't make a difference. It's too dark in my room to see a thing anyways. I guess it takes time for my eyes to adjust to the darkness. I lay there still and silent on a dark and dank dank night. My body is relaxed, my mind is blank, and I'm ready for some much needed rest. Instantly the silence is shattered and my mind fills with fearful thoughts as my startled eyes flash open. Knock, knock.
Someone's knocking.
It's almost undoubtedly the sound of a fist on glass. But no, it couldn't be. What would someone's motivation be to wake someone alone in their home? I feel like I'm reading out of a textbook in middle class.
Why would somebody knock on a window at the middle of the night?
Think logically.
Knock.
If someone wanted to break in, why would they warn me with a knock? They would just break in, making a loud, obnoxious noise, or try to be as silent as
Burglars.
Nightly burglars.
Nobody's home. Oh, okay, we'll come back later.
No, it's when you go in, you knock, and you're like, burglars, and if no one answers, you're like, all right, time to burgle.
Burglars.
Burgle.
This is so scary. Why would they knock? Monsters don't exist.
No, Kelly, that's a different paragraph. Why would they knock? Monsters don't exist. That's a sentence fragment at best.
I could give myself some peace of mind and simply look out the window, but I'm facing the other way and I'm too timid to turn my head, afraid of finding my greatest fear standing outside my window. What could it be, though? Maybe a couple of birds flew into my window. No, that's too unrealistic. How many birds has flown into your window?
Yeah,
like 5?
I have like a tree outside. My front yard has like a tree, and I don't know what the berries are called, but the birds just like get like pissed drunk off them. And they're like, hey, that guy's house looks pretty cool. So there's like 9 dead birds in like my mom's flower bed, and my cat's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what? My dad used to work at a pool, and they have like these like giant windows hovering over the pool side, and he'd find like 10 birds every like week because they'd slam into them. Apparently, it's unrealistic though, according to this story.
Birds hitting windows?
Well, I guess it's unrealistic if they're like. Like they would just like race you. Shit, windows.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's too unrealistic. Could a group of kids be running around late at night knocking on windows to get a few laughs?
Lol.
It's a possibility. Come to think of it, maybe it was my imagination. Maybe I heard the usual creak in the house and my paranoid mind was mistaken it for a knock. Nope, that's definitely wasn't my imagination. Those damn kids are persistent. They don't want to quit until they get that reaction.
You damn kids.
Go off for work!
Steve, what the fuck?
Maybe some sick, twisted freak is standing outside waiting for me to look so he could smash through and attack me. No.
Oh, he's gotta see me first.
Knock, knock. Hi, I'm a Jehovah's Witness.
Ah! I have heard the word of Jesus Christ. Leave me alone.
Don't celebrate Christmas. No, don't think that. Don't get paranoid. Besides, he's outside. I'm inside. Until I hear a shatter, I know I'm safe.
Besides, I've got my monster-proof blanket. They can't get me in here.
I got my monster-proof blanket and Superman stuffy.
This here's my whoop-ass stick. It'll protect me from monsters.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna stab you, but I got a snuggie.
Get a snuggly, then you have the blanket and arms for your whoop-ass stick.
Until I hear a shadow, I know I'm safe. But it's not a monster or some sort of killer. What could it be? Just pretend to be asleep and maybe they'll go away. Oh God, I could think of a noise I hate more than that persistent knock. Please go away. Just leave me alone and let me be. There's no hope. It's going to get in here and do sick and horrible things to me. Inhale.
Did you really have to put a period after inhale, buddy?
Inhale. Take deep breaths.
Period.
I can feel my heart pound out of my chest. Just relax. There, that should have been a period right there. Monsters don't exist. Remember, they're outside, I'm inside. Until I hear a shatter, I know I'm safe. Repeat that. Don't let your fear get the best of you. Just pretend to be asleep. Don't move a muscle.
I love that line. Monsters don't exist. Besides, they're outside.
They're outside, I'm inside. Until I hear a shatter, I know I'm safe. Monsters don't exist. Just pretend you're asleep and pray you'll go away. They're outside, I'm inside. Until I hear a shatter, I know I'm safe. Frightful tears begin to drip down my face. Monsters don't exist. Monsters do not exist. I begin to whisper to myself. They're outside, I'm inside. Until I hear a shatter, I know I'm safe. They're outside, I'm inside. Until I hear a shatter, I know I'm safe. What if he's like standing inside? He's knocking on the window. Think again, bitch. I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna go mad listening to these knocks. At least if I see what it is, I'll have peace of mind. Take a deep breath. I repeat to myself one more time. They're outside, I'm inside. Until I hear a shatter, I know I'm safe. I take a few more breaths, my heart pounding as hard as it ever pounded at a mile in a minute. At a mile, a minute. I slowly turn my head to face the window. My heart sinks into my chest. I'm too afraid to scream or move.
Isn't your heart already in your chest? Why is it sinking into your chest?
My heart sinks, like, you know when you feel shocked and you're
Okay.
like, you can't actually see what I just did there. I turn my head to find a pale figure with beady black eyes staring through me into my soul as a horrid grin creeps across its face. It was standing inside the whole time, knocking on my window. Ha! I was right.
It was inside.
I knew I shouldn't have said that in fear that it would actually be true. So, thoughts? I think your jokes really made it a bit...
How'd it get inside?
Yeah, monsters don't exist. I don't know, I didn't like the ending, like... I don't like the endings where it's like, and then I died. Stay tuned for the sequel. Because I totally wrote this in the past tense.
Yeah.
So, the sequel's like, how did I get my whoop-ass stick and find out this monster?
And then I called Ghostbusters.
And then you do.
Who are you gonna call?
Go.
Someone else.
Call Spring Shield.
No, call
Monster put card in wallet.
No, call your insurance company. That was just stupid.
Anybody ever watched the TV show Archie's Weird Mysteries?
No.
No? Oh, it was actually kind of creepy sometimes.
Was it like the redheaded comic Archie? Or...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was like really creepy stories.
You know,
Yikes, Jughead, did you hear about the grisly murder? Durr, I heard.
No, I think you have a different tune if you actually watch that. I'm like,
I love watching Are You Afraid of the Dark? You know the intro where like you like creep into like an attic. You know that's fine. That's all fine. But when it zooms on this like creepy ass clown doll or something going in like a wheelchair and it's like creaking. I like when I was little, I used to like cover my face in the blankets. I think it's not real.
Yeah, but you hate clowns.
I
hate clowns. I forgot which movie was it.
Steve, there's a clown right behind you.
No.
I get scared for you and I can see behind you.
Kelly was looking behind you and she got scared.
Because I can't see behind you.
Because there's a clown behind you, Kelly.
Sometimes
There's a
Trent.
clown out the window.
Okay, I sleep over at Trent's house, obviously, but sometimes I like he makes like this creepy little smile, and in the dark it actually looks like a clown face, and I fucking hate it. And I slap him, like God.
I think it was it Land of the Dead or something. This guy's like in a warehouse and like all these clowns are like zombie clowns are like coming at him, like tearing out his guts and all that. They're
I'm
like
pretty sure it was
laughing.
Land of the Dead, yeah.
I'm like, oh my god! I turn it off. No, there's no way I'm done with this.
Nothing scares me more than Nazi zombies, though. It's like a mixture of my fear for Hitler and zombies.
Because Hitler will come back.
You know what? There's this guy that
They
used
will
to
if
work
they
at.
clone his brain.
Did you guys used to see this guy that used to work in Extra Foods? And he looked like Hitler. I'm so serious. Like
He's a
otherwise,
clone.
the only thing he was missing was like his like little stash above his.
Would you
lip.
go to pay and he'd be like, you don't have your card ready? And he's like, oh, the wrong selection.
Hitler.
Yeah, but I remember walking with my friends. I'm like, guys, and that's when my fear of Hitler really grew.
He's right
I
here with
always knew
extra foods.
I always knew Extra Foods was evil. Everybody there are like complete assholes.
I swear to God, I went there one day and the entire meat aisle was rotten.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
But as scary as that is, let's move on to the next one.
Alright.
Where'd the story go?
You have to scroll a bit down.
Jesus.
I remember I was like buying
Okay.
a case of noodles and then one of the cashiers was like, you know these don't come in cases, right? I know, I want to buy the whole case. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna read The Tale of the Smiling Man.
It looks like Joker.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, everything I'm about to tell you is absolutely 100% true. I used to live in Boston, Massachusetts with my roommate, John. I am a night person, but he isn't.
Get out of bed, John. Get out of bed.
John!
John.
We have to record
I know
some...
you're there, John.
Come on, John, we have to record some YouTube videos. He is asleep by 9 p.m. He's fucking Steve, is what John is.
It's totally true.
And in the apartment complex we live in, they shut off most power at They shut off the power in your apartment complex? That sucks.
No, that would be so... What if you try to, like, charge your phone overnight?
I think power's like I'm pretty sure that's illegal, buddy. I'd talk to your landlord.
Everyone pays for their power individually.
Boston is such a
I hope the
travel
landlord's
place.
paying for the power. If not, well,
Therefore, it's not like I can jump on any video games of any sorts. On most days, I just chill out and play Angry Birds, Minecraft, or Slender on my Kindle Fire.
Ad.
But since it's been stolen, I sit outside for a walk around the city. John asks me why I do so, but what I see. I simply feed him lies about police chasing criminals and fires around town, but usually the city is dead by 10:30. There are few cars and people. It is usually peaceful, so I can think for a while. I enjoy the walks. They help me clear my head of all anger and sadness.
Emo.
Because he doesn't... Well, I'd be angry and sad if I didn't have power after 11 o'clock.
And someone stole your Kindle.
My YouTube videos take like 2 hours to upload. If I couldn't do it before I went to bed, I'd be pissed.
Think of the better
And
thing.
think of the better things. All of it is peaceful, except for one night. I was on my way back to the apartments when I saw a man standing at the end of the sidewalk. I peered down the road to see him better. He was a man wearing an old suit with a top hat and tie. It was very, very old-fashioned. Then I saw him dancing, and he was basically doing a tango by himself. It takes 3 to tango, you fool! The next part was the creepiest. I saw he had a painful smile, one that looks as if cartoonish. He started walking towards me. The fear caught up with me. He was insane. He came towards me, doing his dance, inch by inch. Moving ever.
IS is dance.
I have to represent this story as the author envisioned it.
It is the writer's fault, not you.
I couldn't move, as if I was frozen in place. My bones chilled. Fear then forced my legs to run. I saw a bloody dagger equipped in his hand. Equipped? Is he like is he in an RPG?
You know what? I read a different version of this, and he didn't have a dagger, so I'm kind of curious as to what it's gonna be now.
You read a different version. I'm starting to
Yeah.
think these aren't true at all.
Well, look at all the Slender
Now that I
Man
think of it, how did
figure.
that guy post it to the internet if he was dead? I ran as fast as I could without looking back. I dashed for my apartment. I peered over my shoulder to see he had vanished, gone away. I sighed in relief, and when I turned my head around, there he was. He was standing there smiling at me with his dreadful smile. I froze once again. He was a car length from me. I started to sprint once again. Isn't he in front of you? Are you gonna
I
get...
assume you turn around.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was getting close to the apartment when I heard a laugh. I looked around. No one in sight. I walked into the apartment complex, and as I was about to head up the stairs, he was there, waiting for me. I screamed and ran to my room. That was a pretty shitty ambush. Locked the door and pushed my bed in front of it. John awoke. "What the bloody hell is going on?" he yelled in an interrogative manner.
This is bloody hell in Boston. That sounds British or something.
What the bloody hell? No, it sounded British. I was trying to do a Boston accent.
bloody hell is going on?
Okay, John is sassy. I then told him everything, but the scariest part about it was that he was not a ghost, not a zombie, not a killer, but a normal man, only insane. And magic, because he knew where you lived. That smile creeps me out even today.
And you can teleport up your stairs.
Yeah, that's true.
I have moved into a new building along with John. He was more scared of the smiley guy even more than I. The even weirder thing is that I've seen him walk by my window, even though I am on the 6th floor. Well, then
Yeah, he's not normal.
He's not. That's not an insane guy.
He's a ghost.
He's probably
unless
Joker.
his dagger gave him +6 flight. Because RPG.
Because RPG.
My magical winged dagger of truth. So far, these
Apparently he
outcomes are
wasn't
very
a killer,
promising.
but why was he holding a fucking dagger?
I don't know. It's
Chopping up some
Dagger. That
daggers.
seems kind of archaic for Boston. He dated the story too. It's not like it was like old Boston. It was like within the age of Minecraft Boston.
An Angry Birds, so like last year at least.
Angry Birds is pretty old now, isn't it?
No, maybe 2 years. Even then.
All right, Steve, you got to read this one.
Maybe you should
it's
trade
such
Come
spots.
on, let's switch spots. Come on.
I'm not good at reading.
Come on,
No,
Steve.
no, no.
That's
Come
what
on,
makes
you
you
gotta
even
do it.
better. Come on.
3 people, 3 stories.
come on.
Come on, it's perfect.
Chris.
This one's also the
All of PhatStache has to participate.
creepiest.
I've always wanted to share this experience with someone who could relate.
Steve is reading this from his diary, by the way.
Shut up, you.
That's what makes it scary.
And since the therapist, I saw.
Fuck you.
No, it's not cool, man.
This is his diary.
This is personal shit.
And sharing with YouTube will help the healing.
I
give you a
saw
lot
as
of
a result
attention.
of this happening, maybe our no sleep can. What the fuck is that?
Okay, let's
Hey,
just
this
make
is your
it up.
diary, Steve. Come on, you can't.
Put some.
Just cut to the next line. You were scared.
When
you
I,
told me.
when I was about 7 to 8 years old, I lived with my grandparents in South Carolina.
We'll just make
they-
that Laurier.
You know what? I'm not good at reading as it is. You're not helping.
I could read it if you want.
They had this big house. They used to be. Okay. That used to be a stop on the Underground Railroad, and I used to love discovering all the cool passageways that ran all over the place. When I wasn't doing that, my grandfather took me fishing and hunting, while my grandmother would teach me how to sew and cook. Aren't you a lucky bastard? King of girl. Fuck you.
Kind of girly thing.
Kind of girly things for a little boy to be doing, but those skills definitely helped out in the long run.
Steve makes all our curtains.
It cooks all of our
Cooks
meals.
all your foods, does all your laundry.
Sews all those.
I do dishes.
Sews all the broken buttons on our t-shirts.
My folks were military, so rather than drag me around and translating me with multiple moves, they had me stay at my grandparents'. My room sat at essentially the middle of the house.
That's a weird place for a bedroom.
Yeah, that's true.
I was surrounded on all sides by thick walls,
Usually you want like a window in your bedroom.
which used to house passageways, but had since been sealed off. I hung up pictures and cool things benefiting an 8-year-old's room. It's beneficial.
You knitted a nice macrame. You knitted a nice like
Macaroni
wall rug.
picture.
It's like a house without a cat is not a home.
I love
My mom made so many of them.
I love the house, but it started to feel a little off after a while. I
Oh,
noticed.
yeah, your room's in the middle of nowhere.
Judge, you're ruining the spookiness.
You wake up to no light.
I noticed that my thing kept disappearing. Nothing incredibly valuable, just trivial things like my toothbrushes and combs. How many toothbrushes do you have? It shouldn't be plural.
Well, maybe
Well, they're disappearing.
Maybe.
he lost it, got a new one, kept on losing it. If I was a
I'm
grandparent,
buying them in bulk now. They've just been going every night. Where was it?
Right here.
No, they never reappeared at some random place, and I would never see them again. My grandparents spent a fortune on my various grooming products. Am I a dog? I imagine it was just my stuff, though, which left me and my family in confusion. They used to joke that a ghost might be taking my things. No, wait. Must have
Been
taken
taken a
likely
liking.
to me. My way was worded better.
Yeah, fine.
They were kidding, of course, but I started to really, but I started to get really freaked out over this notion.
Want me to read?
Yes, please. They word it so weirdly.
Okay.
Pass me the diary. Okay.
No, I want to.
Fine.
Well, if you want to go ahead. But,
No, you can read.
okay. They were kidding, of course, but I started to get really freaked out over this notion. I started paying attention to very minor noises and details, and whenever something odd did present itself, it would creep me out to the extreme. I remember dyeing a favorite shirt of mine, only to come back 5 minutes later to find the dryer door open and the shirt gone. My things would be moved.
Gremlins.
Obviously. And by this, the story's called Holes, by the way. Forgot to get the title.
No, it's
Narnia?
called My Favorite Grandparents' House by Stephen Boucher.
Hey, give me back my sock, you goat bastard!
2003.
Welcome to the land of Narnia.
My things would be moved. Pictures of me that were on the walls would go missing. Most importantly, these little holes started appearing in the walls around the house.
They first showed up in my room. Then they just popped up all over the house. The kitchen, the bathroom, the living room. Everywhere except the master bedroom where my grandparents slept. This really creeped me out. So one night, I decided I was going to sleep in their room. I slept in a pretty comfy sleeping bag on the floor, and for the first time in a while, I felt pretty safe.
2 a.m. rolls around, and I wake up to this weird tapping sound. It's almost as if someone is hammering something a little ways off. It was in the middle of the country, and people were often awake doing random things at all hours, so I started to write it off. The moment I started to shrug it off, I happened to look at a floor wall directly facing me, just in time to see a jagged piece of wall fall out, leaving another tiny hole. I yelled and woke my grandparents. They were genuinely upset for me, so we packed up a few things and left for the weekend.
When we got back, the first thing I noticed is that almost everything in the house that had anything to do with me was either gone or damaged. My room was now host to at least 30 different holes, all in varying shapes and sizes. I was exhausted, and all I wanted to do was go to bed. Me and my grandparents stood in my room and demanded whatever was in the house to leave me alone. It just needs a stern talking to.
There was no great relief. There was no angry outbursts. There was no ghostly laughter. Just silence and me feeling scared and a little silly. I decided to be brave and stay in my room that night.
Can you imagine if a ghost came out and was like, I'm sorry, and just like kind of like strolled away?
He's your
I awoke around 12 a.m. to that thump, the kind I usually attribute to my family moving around, knocking into a wall. I started drifting back off, only to hear another thump, then another.
Eventually, these grew pretty rhythmic. I was scared out of my mind. I jolted upright and started scanning around my room. I grabbed the flashlight that I had grown to keep on my nightstand and started shining it everywhere.
He planted a flashlight and it grew.
That's what I was thinking.
He planted batteries in a flashlight.
But he planted. Okay, the floor, the walls, the holes, the thumping stopped. But I kept looking around frantically. And eventually, my beam caught something shiny, and I fixated on it. As soon as I realized what it was, I screamed and started crying like a little girl for my parents. Steve.
Shut up!
It was a human eye.
My grandparents came in and saw this, an unblinking human eye staring out at the room. The police were called and came immediately. They opened the sealed portions of the house and searched every passageway they could find. Eventually, they came to the section behind my far wall. Why didn't they check that part first? Where the eye was located. I wasn't privy to the information when I was that young, but when I got older, my grandparents told me what it was.
The police came upon this tiny room, only big enough to hold one person comfortably, if only barely. They were first greeted by what they described as a thick layer of garbage and waste. Most of this garbage was my things that had gone missing. My combs, my toothbrushes, my socks, my shoes, my washcloths, my favorite shirt. At the wall, surrounded by pictures of me, was a man. He was completely naked. The only thing keeping him upright was a belt around his neck, looped over a nearby low rafter. The cause of death was autoerotic
asphyxiation. He had died staring at me, pleasuring himself, surrounded by a sick fascination with me. I don't think there's any getting over it. I can't stand the dark now, and now when I go to sleep, all I can think about are holes.
Eh.
I like that one where it's like the trauma is more psychological and not like a
Yeah.
ghost tapping at your window and killing you.
Yeah.
I thought we needed creepy nice.
Ew.
I don't. The only my problem with that story is like how this guy is supposed to get around. Like all the passages are supposed to be really small and whatever.
Well, it's only one guy.
Still, like he stole like something out of the dryer like really quickly. It's weird.
Yeah. He's no ninja, he's like some fat guy.
What are you doing, Steve? Get off the soundboard.
Horror footsteps.
Spooky footsteps.
Imagine laying in bed listening to that.
Except it's some guy jerking it.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
Steve, do you want to talk about it some more? Nah,
Moving on.
You didn't have naked guys, you had crickets. And with that, I think we're ready to end our Halloween episode of... I don't know what this has been, just a fun special for the holiday season. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
you good?
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, so stick around, check out more of our videos. Kelly, anything you want to plug?
No.
No?
No.
Alright. If there's anything, just let me know. I'll put the links in the description. So thanks for listening to us. We hope you enjoyed, and see you again.